Welcome, everyone. Tad Hargrave from Marketing for Hippies here down on Earth. And very excited to have you here today to share my friends Brad and Blair with you with a great e-course adventure. And if you've been thinking about creating an e-course, which I imagine is why you're watching this right now, there's nobody I recommend more than this. I have had a lot of colleagues who teach different things around home study courses, and there's a lot of good stuff out there. But the best stuff I've come across is the work of the Great eCourse Adventure. Um, I'm very excited to share it with you. I've recommended a number of my clients go and take a look at this, and every one of them who's signed up, I've gotten rave reviews from. I've had people show up at my workshops in England, specifically to tell me how much they love the Great eCourse Adventure and to thank me for the recommendation. I've had clients email me. I've seen the testimonials. I've got a friend in Edmonton who signed up for it and says it's the best money that she's ever spent pretty much on anything online. So um, I really believe in this. It's been very valuable for my clients. And having an e-course is a very valuable piece of your business model. It can make your business so much more sustainable. It can be used in so many different ways. I won't belabor it all too much, but I'm just here to introduce these folks, Brad and Blair. So, Brad and Blair, are you there? Is the satellite working? Are you picking up?
Hello.
Hello, Tadlington. Hello, everybody.
Hi, everybody. Right. Welcome to our beautiful office here up in space.
How's Earth doing down there?
It's pretty hot right now. Yeah, it's pretty good. Pretty good. How's the spaceship out there?
It's actually quite cold today.
Yeah.
The sun is just on the other side of Earth, and so it's a little bit chilly and dark.
But we can change that in a second, really.
Yeah.
Well, maybe I'll just throw it over to you two to take it from here. But everyone, thank you so much for joining. I give you Brad and Blair and the Great eCourse Adventure.
Tad, thank you so much for having us, and thank you everybody who has come on this journey to the new world of online education. Obviously, if you're here, you're a coach, you're a teacher, you're a holistic practitioner, you have something that you are wanting to share with the world. Maybe you're teaching workshops in person, and you're wanting to bridge that into the digital world. And the thing about online learning is the dropout rates for students who will sign up for a course and not complete it is somewhere between 70 and 97%. And
which is crazy.
That's crazy.
That's crazy.
I mean, think about it. If that was a university, the university doors would be closed and nobody would go to that school because the school would be terrible.
Yeah, the parents wouldn't be very happy.
Yeah.
No.
So what we tend to see in the whole e-learning industry when you sign up for a course on building courses is the courses focus 20% on how to build a course and 80% on how to market the course that you put a little bit of time into building. And for us, we are all about the student experience. As you can tell right now, right here, you're having an experience. And to help amplify your experience, in the chat is going to be an interactive workbook that you can all go through in your own time, and today as well while we're here. This workbook is interactive. It's going to help you to really flesh out the concepts that we're going to dive into today around themification. Themification is when you turn your ordinary e-course into a world, just like the world we're going to travel through today. And we're going to be going into some gamification stuff, which at the end of this, we're doing a Q&A so we can happily answer your questions. So as we're going today, feel free to throw your questions into the chat, and we can happily get to those
we'll do our best
when we get to the new world of online education. So we're really grateful that you're here. Our approach is creative, it's out of the box, it's silly, it's fun, and it's us. And what we're going to help you do is figure out what your vibe and personality for your courses are and what world you would want to teach inside of, because we can really, with the technology and the tools that are available now, we can literally do anything and we can create anything, and it can be extremely cost effective.
Yeah. I mean, we've created this entire world that we're experiencing and you will be experiencing on a shoestring budget, just being smart with our time and being very creative with our resources.
The most expensive thing on this spaceship is that holographic globe behind us.
And that cost us a few dollars on stock photos.
No. At the local orb shop.
Yeah.
Totally.
On Mars.
Yeah, stay in the theme.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So we're going to blast off to outer space in just a moment, as in we're going to travel through space. And so we encourage you to have a cup of something delicious, and we'll be active in the chat as we go. So feel free to share your thoughts, your insights, your epiphanies, your laughter, any of that stuff. We'll be there with you for the ride. And put your seatbelt on. Take a deep breath. Close your eyes and imagine where it is that you want to be in the next couple years as you bring your work to the world that is meant to be receiving it. How do you want to be received by your students? How do you want your work to be experienced by the people on the receiving end all over the world? And we're going to help you reimagine what is possible for all that you're here to do and share with the world. Let's go. Welcome aboard the eCourse Frontier Starship. This is going to be our training platform for the next 30 minutes to demonstrate to you a revolutionary new approach to online education. My crew and I, who you'll be meeting shortly, have been working for the better part of the last 10 years in the eCourse industry, and we couldn't help but notice a widespread epidemic taking place right now. The average dropout rate for online courses is higher than 70%. This means something is clearly amiss in the way students are being taught. And the reason this is such a big problem is because if people aren't finishing your course, then you're not going to get testimonials, you won't get referrals, you won't get future business. And you won't get future business. Not to mention, students won't get the results they signed up for. Signed up. Clearly, the way eCourses are being designed right now isn't working. So we asked ourselves, how can we improve the educational model that is often being used to build online courses? This got us thinking about eCourse creation and education as a whole in an entirely new way. Which brings us to our starship. It caught your attention, right? Well, good. I'm glad you like it. Because I've been waiting my entire life to have my very own starship. And this starship is a vehicle to help you fulfill your mission and purpose of making a huge impact. And we'll get to that. But one of the main reasons the failure rate is so high is because there are other things more exciting and fun than the vast majority of courses out there. The key is to make your course more enjoyable and inspiring than the endless distractions stealing your students' attention away. Now you have to understand, the way things are being done isn't all wrong. In fact, we like to think that it's halfway there. Are you familiar with left and right brain dynamics? The left brain represents the analytical, linear side. The side loves heady step-by-step process. It wants facts and information. But then we have the right side of the brain, often overlooked in the world of online learning. The right brain represents the creative, imaginative, artistic self. I bring this analogy up to help demonstrate the way the eCourse industry is applying itself. Too much left brain. Pretty much the entire educational industry is completely disregarding the right brain altogether. Don't get me wrong, the left brain is really valuable, but too much of it will cause your student to seek elsewhere for some good old-fashioned entertainment and stimulation. So, if you want to stand out in the sea of sameness and inspire your audience to complete your course, then you're going to have to be more creative with your approach and delivery. And this brings us to our mission today, to introduce to you a revolutionary new approach to online learning. Now imagine this. You've developed an e-learning experience that your students love showing up to, excited to devour their next lessons. You've created a course that feeds your heart, mind, and soul in a way that your work has never been able to do in the past. And you've built a transformational learning environment that will change your students' lives and effortlessly make you sales because you're genuinely fired up about the product you created. When we get off this ship today, you're going to know exactly what you need to do to fulfill your mission of facilitating an e-learning experience
that hooks your students and keeps them engaged until they achieve the results they came for. Now, there's so much to fill you in on to prepare you for the exciting journey ahead. But first, be sure to download your training manual. If you haven't yet, then go ahead and download it now. This manual is full of exercises and resources that'll take you deeper into everything we're sharing today. Read through it and do all the exercises in your own time. Now let's go take a tour of the eCourse frontier. I want to introduce you to the crew and get you ready for the new paradigm of online education. Follow me to the transportation pods, right this way. All right, crew, we got a little bit of a ride ahead of us, so let's talk about how you create a whole brain learning experience that your students love. Now, let's just see if this works. Oh, perfect. All right, so since the beginning of time, we've shared our cultural ways, techniques, and wisdom through storytelling, song, and art. That approach creates whole brain learning experiences. Somehow, along the evolution of humanity, the creative side of learning was lost, and now all we see are left brain dominant learning processes, whereas the most effective learning happens on the deepest level when the whole brain is engaged. But the education industry has forgotten this, and I'm guessing you're not traveling through outer space right now to go make a painfully boring course just like all the others out there. Am I right? Now that would be a waste of your time and your students' time and their money and all of your potential. You are here to create a deeply transformational whole brain learning experience, period. So how exactly do you do that? Well, there's two main parts to consider. We're already fully aware of the left brain aspect of eCourse creation, which is the linear learning pathway, your lessons, modules, quizzes, and information. The other side is the right brain aspect of course creation. To engage this side of the brain, you have to give your course a theme. So what does the theme look like? Take a look around. You're not just listening to me read a PowerPoint word for word, you're part of a bigger story, an immersive learning environment. You are a new recruit on a starship traveling through space on an adventure to the new world of online learning. Now that's a theme. Understand, your theme doesn't have to be as elaborate as this one. This is just our personalities, passions, and creativity shining through. And that's what it's all about. So here's a few examples of course themes that our students are working on. One supermom is making an entrepreneurship course for teenagers that has a spy theme. An artist has developed a course that merges drawing with travel so you can learn to draw your favorite travel memories. A passionate graphics designer developed a course that takes place in the dojo where you earn your black belt in Photoshop. A couple musicians made a music production training that's based in the ancient art of alchemy. And then there's our course, an epic adventure to the peak of a mountain where you learn how to create and launch an epic e-learning experience. As you can probably start to imagine, by giving your course a theme, you bring it to life. A theme satisfies the right brain's need for symbology, metaphor, and meaning. And the possibilities are as endless as the universe itself. The key to creating an effective and engaging learning experience is to treat eCourse creation as an art form. Now you might be thinking, I'm an entrepreneur, I'm a teacher, I'm not an artist. But what is an artist after all? What is art? The creative process is a simple process of making connections. So the process is this. Take your course topic and lessons, the left brain stuff, and add an interesting theme, the right brain, and find the connections between the two. When you make the creative connections, a new thing emerges. What emerges is your masterpiece, your art, your course. So what does eCourse creation have to do with climbing a mountain? When we asked ourselves that for the Great eCourse Adventure, we were super excited to find that our syllabus became a map, modules became checkpoints, badges became supplies, wild characters taught the lessons, our community became the campfire, and launching your course became reaching the peak of Launch Summit. Our theme brought so much fun and imagination into the experience of learning and building your own online business. The most important thing is that your theme is consistent through every aspect of your student's experience. All these things add up, and the more you infuse your theme into the course and lessons, the more immersed your students will become in the learning environment. There is so much more we can get into on the topic of themes, which we don't have time for today, but we will tell you how you can learn more later. The bottom line is this: creating whole brain learning experiences means more engagement, more students, more success, more money, and more impact. So do it. All right. So what other ways can you use art to deliver powerful lessons? Well, take a look at your options. You can use video production, storytelling, music, photography, poetry, costume design, graphic design, animation, and so much more. Basically, if there's an art form, it can be used to teach a lesson in a way that's far more engaging than a typical PowerPoint and talking heads video. And if there's something you're passionate about, that's what you should be incorporating. Once you get it in the creative process, you won't be able to stop the endless flow of inspiration and ideas that start flooding in. And the more you enjoy your creative process, the more likely your students will love your course and want to stick around. All right, so it looks like we're coming up to Dr. Delight's lab, so we'll end here for now. In your training manual are more creative exercises to help you narrow in on your eCourse topic and theme. So be sure to do those when you're done with the tour while the inspiration's still fresh. In summation, what we just talked about: come up with your topic, come up with your theme, find the connections between the two, treat this as an art form, and enjoy every step of the process. And if you don't do this, then be prepared to make something that gets lost amidst the sea of sameness. All right. Let's go meet Dr. Delight. He's going to teach you an essential part of eCourse creation in the new paradigm. Man, we got to get a smaller ship. Right, so this is Dr. Delight's lab. Now, he's a little bit of an eccentric character, but don't let that fool you because he's an absolute genius. Dr. Delight?
Oh, hello!
Oh, hey! So good to see you. I just want to introduce you to the new recruits.
Wonderful, wonderful. Come on in. Come meet me at the screen. Hello again. Well, aren't you a good-looking bunch? You are very lucky to be here. The old world of eCourse creation was missing the most important ingredient for facilitating transformation: engagement. Without engagement, you don't have an eCourse. Courses of the old world were so dry and boring. Nobody wanted to do the lessons. They were just PowerPoints and PDFs. That's all they were. The old way is no way to learn. This is not how you help one to transform. Like a child, you must help them to enjoy the learning journey. So how do we inspire engagement amongst our students? Well, one very good way is this thing we call gamification. Boop, boop. The gamification of learning is an educational approach to motivate students to learn by using video game design and game elements in learning environments. The goal is to maximize enjoyment and engagement through capturing the interest of learners and inspiring them to continue learning. Wikipedia! And whether you realize it or not, by working in the e-learning industry, you are by default working in gamification. Gamification happens anytime a student goes beyond merely consuming information to actually taking some form of action. It may not seem like it, but that is indeed gamification. And in order to facilitate transformation, your students must take action in their real lives. Beep beep. What is wrong? One more time. Boop, boop. There we go. Traditional forms of gamification and e-learning can include having a point system, community currency, badges, rewards, contests, challenges, and there's so much more. The goal is to get your students to participate and take their next step on their transformational learning journey. So tell me in the poll below, do you think gamification will enhance your students' learning experience? Yes or no? Gamification is exciting because it promises to make the hard stuff along the journey fun, or at least more enjoyable. It is designed to take your students from passivity to interactivity by encouraging and rewarding them to play further into your world and their learning transformation. Now, take a moment to consider. Boop, boop. What could you do to employ gamification in your eCourse for your students? To give you an example, in the Great eCourse Adventure, we apply several forms of gamification and our students absolutely love it. We created our own community currency called the Bajillion, where everybody is a bajillionaire. Students earn bajillions and badges through completing challenges, lessons, and by participating in forum conversations. They can then spend their bajillions on an eCourse creation product, services, and software in our mountain shop. Boop, boop. Show up, do the work, participate fully, and be rewarded. It's a win for everyone! Bloop, bloop. So, there are a few simple rules to follow for creating a great gamified experience. Boop, boop. Rule number 1. You must turn your lessons and courses into a game-like experience. Because games are enjoyable and people like yourself prefer enjoyable experiences over ones that are not so much enjoyable, you need your students to want to do the work and come back for the next lesson. Even better, you'll want your students to be thinking about your course when they are doing other things. Boop, boop. Rule number 2. Understand the mechanics of your game-like experience. The game mechanics are basically what makes a game fun and engaging. It is this thing that makes people keep playing it. For example, they do a quiz before they are allowed to move forward. These mechanics are what make your course game-like and engaging. Here's another poll. Answer below. Have you ever gone through a course that applied some of these game mechanics? Yes or no? Boop, boop. Rule number 3. More important than coming up with badges is to come up with challenges and experiences that engage your students and inspire them into action. Use your imagination and get creative. Not all courses will become a circus of games, although some might. It really depends on you, your audience, and your eCourse's personality. If you don't think it's fun, your audience probably won't either. Boop, boop. No matter what your topic is, gamification can and will improve your engagement rate. So why not use it? In your training manual are more ideas on how to gamify your eCourse, as well as recommend software to use. That's enough for today. I have much work to do before we land, so you best move along and get your work done. Oh, wait. One more question I've been dying to ask you. Fuzzy socks or slippers? Answer below in the poll. Please answer. My old one's worn out and I've heard that fuzzy socks are more functional. Apparently you can just slip them right in a shoe.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Delight. So this has been super informative, as it always is, but we've got to continue our tour, and I'm going to take everybody up to the cockpit and introduce them to the pilot of our ship. Boop, boop. All right, right this way, everybody. Come with me. Never a dull moment with that guy. So let's just take a moment to summarize his main points. Number 1, turn your lessons and course into a game-like experience. 2, make sure the game mechanics, aka how the game works, is crystal clear. And 3, do whatever it takes to keep your audience engaged and inspire your students into action. I also want to say, this doesn't need to be complicated. It can be very simple. You don't even need badges to gamify your experience. It's just a simple mindset shift when building your curriculum and lessons. Just keep coming back to the question, how can I make this lesson more engaging and gamified? As Dr. Delight said, in your training manual are some exercises, examples, and resources of how to gamify your course. So do check it out. Now, come on everybody. I want to take you to the cockpit and introduce you to the pilot of the eCourse Frontier, who is our Chief Technical Officer. Welcome to the bridge of the eCourse Frontier Starship. And Just up here is our pilot and the other eCourse adventure guide, Mr. Andy Friest. Hey, Andy. Andy. Earth to Andy.
Oh, hey.
I just want to introduce you to all the new recruits.
Welcome, everybody. It's great to have you on board.
So, Andy, I've been telling everyone about this new world of online learning, and I've noticed some concerned recruits. They're feeling a little bit overwhelmed about which tech to use, how to use it, and whether they have enough time to set it all up. Would you be willing to share your approach to the tech side of course creation and help calm their nervous system before we arrive at the new world?
Oh yeah, absolutely. In fact, last time that we were exploring this new world, we found an ancient set of scrolls called the Zen Tech, and they appeared to be written by a legendary tech guru named Master Zen Tech. And these have been my guiding principles ever since. So let me show you guys. Just 1 second. Let me see if I can get them. Oh, here they are.
Get clear on what you want, so what you need becomes next step. More important than know how is learn how. Be afraid not of technology, but of your fear of technology. Be creative and be simple. Take time for tech learning time, and you'll learn tech in no time. If you want to be paid like professional, then be professional. Do what you're masterful at. Work with other masters in areas you're not so good. This is how you create masterpiece. Don't be where you're not. Start here with what you've got. No need be miserable stress case. Have fun.
Pretty awesome, right? So many creators get overwhelmed or lost in the vast world of tech. But in all honesty, there's a high likelihood that you're blowing things up to be a bit bigger than they actually are. Here's the bottom line. We have so many awesome tools for building incredible learning experiences. We're talking about state-of-the-art, easy to use, drag and drop technology. And the truth is that we've never had it better. The tools that we have available to us are incredible, and they're so affordable. So instead of getting stressed about tech, get excited. This is your ticket to freedom after all. And as Master Zen Tech said, if you create time for tech learning time, you're gonna learn tech in no time. So you need to have dedicated tech learning time scheduled into your calendar, where you go through tutorials and play around with the platforms without any pressure or stress. This will make it way more fun to learn what you need to know to build your course. But before you go study every platform under the sun, there's a few things that you need to be clear on. The first thing is that you need to know what your budget is. Are you going to be working with a shoestring budget, which is just a little tiny budget? Or do you have a moderate budget? Do you have a bigger budget and you're wanting to hire a developer or a team? Knowing how much you have to invest will dictate what you can do at this stage of your journey. So next, you need to know what features your course needs. So is gamification or perhaps having an online community area really important to the course that you're designing? Once you know the most important elements of your course, or the most important features, you can find the tech that offers those specific features in the best way and price it out based on your budget. A great approach is to give each feature that your course needs a rating from 1 through 10, so you know what the highest priorities are. The third thing is to be honest with yourself about your level of tech experience and your desire to learn the tech side of course creation. Most of the platforms that you're likely to buy have easy to follow onboarding processes that show you exactly how everything works. But if you truly don't want to deal with learning new tech, then just hire a partner. Hire someone or partner with someone who's great at it. Or you can just use the simplest tech solution that you can until you make enough sales to hire a team to help you. And the honest to goodness truth is that there is no perfect solution. None of the products that you're going to research are perfect. They all have positives and they all have negatives. And you just need to find the one that feels like a good fit for where you are now based on your price range and your needs. Trust your gut and avoid the trap of over-analyzing. Just pick your tech, get back to building your course. And as you become more experienced and make more money in the world of e-learning, you can always upgrade and improve on what you've built. The biggest disservice that you can do to sabotage yourself is to not get started at all. And as Master Zen Tech said, keep it simple and have fun. So in your training manual are some great resources that will help you quickly pick your course creation technologies.
Wow, that's a really great place to start. Awesome advice. Thank you, Mr. Friest.
Oh yeah, of course, it's my pleasure. And Brad, I do want to say we're actually getting pretty close to the drop zone, so you may want to finish the tour and get everybody to the loading bay.
All right, awesome. You heard the man. But first, let's take a moment to go over what Andy just said. Number one, you gotta know what your budget is. Two, you need to know what features are essential to your eCourses needs. Three, be honest with yourself about your desire to learn the tech side of course creation. And four, in the words of Master Zen Tech, if you create time for tech learning time, you'll learn tech in no time. So really enjoy that learning curve. All right, everyone. I gotta say, we're very fortunate to have a true master of sales and marketing on the ship right now. So let's see if we can have a moment of his time to go learn a thing or two.
All right, everybody, enjoy the rest of your training, and now I'm gonna get back to flying this ship.
Master Sales Walker, I wanted to introduce you to our new recruits.
Yes. Hello, everyone. Welcome.
So, Master Sales Walker, I was wondering if you'd be willing to take a moment to share some of your wisdom around the art of sales and marketing.
Yes, of course. In fact, when entering the new world, you'll need to be aware of these energies if you wish to serve and thrive. Please, everyone, have a seat and let me explain. At the heart of all successful sales and marketing lies an invisible power called the sales force. This energy is available to all, but it must be cultivated. Harnessing the power of the sales force takes practice and patience. Once mastered, your ability to market your offering, communicate its value, and convert potential customers into sales becomes a natural experience. Now you must understand, within the sales force are two opposing energies, the light side and the dark. The dark side asks, how can I make more money? Whereas the light side asks, how can I create more value? Both sides are constantly creating and generating sales. However, one is in the spirit of taking, while the other is in the spirit of giving. There will come a point when you two must decide between the light and the dark. The world of online marketing has been deeply rooted in the dark side for quite some time, using shadow tactics of fear, manipulation, and scarcity to make sales. Fortunately, people are waking up and a rebellion has begun. No longer are they willing to be treated like leads or numbers. Instead, they are looking to invest in honest leaders, businesses who have a genuine mission to serve. Pay attention now, because I'm going to tell you how to harness the power of the sales force. Number one, first, you must know your customer. Understand who they are. Know their problems, hopes, dreams, and desires. What are they looking for, and why do they want it? If you are unclear about who exactly you are aiming to serve, then you will not be able to direct the sales force in their direction. Know your customer. Two, the second thing is to know your creation. What problems does it solve? What is the transformation your customer will experience by signing up? And what makes your course unique? All things in the universe have a purpose. Your course is no different. As the creator of your course, you must know its purpose inside and out. If you are unclear about your creation, what it does, how it does it, and why it does it, then how can you expect your customers to want it? Know your creation. The third element is to make the connection. How does your product connect with your potential customer? You must effectively communicate who it's for, what it does, how it works, and the value it provides. How is your creation the best solution for your customer's unique set of needs, desires, values, and personality? If you put your full heart, passion, and creative gifts into your creation, then your love for it will be contagious. You won't need to sell it, for it will sell itself. if you make the connection between your creation and your customer and communicate it with crystal clarity. Obviously, we can go so much deeper into this topic, for the sales force is infinite. These 3 principles will give you the big picture and are all you need to get started in your journey to Salesforce mastery. Now, be patient, for it takes practice to be able to harness the Salesforce successfully. I leave you with this final thought. Treat your students how you wish to be treated, and create courses that you would want to buy. This will create an energetic alignment, strength, and integrity within you, making it easier to harness the power of the Salesforce. If you use the Salesforce wisely, you will create long-term prosperity and happiness for you and your customers. Now, in your training manual are some journaling exercises and questions that will help cultivate your powers. Follow this wisdom and you will be well on your way to Salesforce mastery. That is all for today. More will be revealed when you are ready.
Thank you so much for your time and wisdom, Master Sales Walker. That was very insightful, as it always is.
May the Salesforce be with you.
And you. Such a powerful lesson on selling. This is going to be so important when it comes time to launch your course. Now come with me, recruits. We've got to get down to the loading bay for a descent into the new world. Welcome to the loading bay, everyone. And you'll be excited to hear that we just installed a new teleportation module, which is much faster than our previous shuttle system and a heck of a lot cooler. So you've toured the ship and have learned some valuable lessons from the crew about the new world of online learning. But honestly, the real work begins down there on the ground when you begin your own eCourse adventure. Now, before we teleport down, I feel the need to share one more incredibly valuable lesson that can make or break the success of your course. The most important element of effective learning environment is a community gathering place, a space where all your students have a voice and opportunity to connect with you and the others on the journey with them. This could be a private Facebook group, your own private forum, or if all your students are local, a regular in-person meetup. The bottom line is, keeping students engaged long enough to succeed can be very challenging, more so than an in-person class. And there's many reasons for this: a lack of social accountability, infinite internet distractions fighting for their attention, and the massive amount of resistance that tends to surface when learning a new skill or going through a transformation. Your community space can be one of the most supportive resources for your students, offering them the accountability, support, and connection they need to overcome their fears, resistance, setbacks, and roadblocks on their journey to completing your course. But it's not just good for your students, it's great for you too. Your community gives you an opportunity to connect with your students on a much deeper, more personal level than if you're just broadcasting to them like in an email. People also want to buy from someone they like, know, and trust. Being in the trenches, supporting the students in your community creates an emotional and personal connection between them and you. This will no doubt result in more repeat sales and referrals. People also like to be a part of something that's greater than themselves. Having a community creates a me to we dynamic, where suddenly your students begin to support one another in ways you can't even imagine. This takes the pressure off of you, and in time when your community begins to take on a life of its own, your presence will be less needed and vital to keep the conversations alive. So here are a few key principles for establishing a powerful online community for your students. Number 1, make it enjoyable. Create a community environment that you and others will actually want to participate in. If it's not enjoyable, people won't use it. All the features in the world won't matter if your community software is painful or annoying to use. Number 2, keep it engaging. Look at what you like and don't like about the communities you are or have been a part of in the past. Make a plan for how you'll keep the conversation sparked and what you want to talk about with your tribe around the digital campfire. Number 3, be consistent. If you're not showing up day in and day out to get those conversations lit, then who is going to do it? Once your community is thriving, then you can step away at times if you want. It'll take hard work and dedication to get your community off the ground, but the effort will be worth it in the long run. To get started, we recommend you write a code of honor that speaks to the values and shared purpose of why everyone is there and how people can get the most out of the community forum. This document would also express the rules and etiquette of your community. As people begin arriving to the space you created for them, your job is to make sure every single one of them feels safe, valued, and included. This is essential for getting their participation. And remember, it's not about the quantity of conversations that is important, it is the quality. So seek to engage in meaningful conversations with your students, and the rest will take care of itself in time. In your training manual are some exercises that will help create your ultimate community experience or improve upon your existing one. We also include some community software and platform recommendations for you. Now, what do you say we head down and check out this new landscape? Andy, we're ready.
Roger that, Bradley. Have fun, and I will see you at base camp.
All right, everyone, remember, one at a time, and keep your arms and legs inside the teleporter at all times. Beam us down, Andy.
That's the last one, Captain.
All right, thanks so much, Andy.
All right, I'll park the ship and I'll meet you over at base camp shortly.
Roger that. All right, welcome to the new world, everyone. That's Sherpa Steve back there. He's a little bit grumpy, but a really great Sherpa. Now, before we head through that spiraling vortex and begin this epic quest in eCourse creation, let's just take a quick inventory of what we learned back on the Starship. These principles will be the guiding light to help you bring out your very best work in the new world of eCourse creation. Number one, the key to engagement is creating a whole brain learning experience. Two, you create a whole brain learning experience by artfully merging your course curriculum with a unique theme. Number three, all the tech you need is readily available. It's never been easier or more affordable to build a powerful and engaging learning experience that your students love. Number four, at the heart of all successful sales and marketing lies an invisible power called the sales force. To harness the power of the sales force, you must know your customer, know your creation, and make that connection. Number five, your community is the heartbeat of your course. Make it enjoyable, keep it engaging, and be consistent and show up every single day. And number six, make your course a work of art. The more you enjoy the creative process, the more your students will enjoy the product. Now, how excited are you about the possibilities that exist for you and all the incredible courses you can create? Building an online course is like climbing in a mountain. It's a creative vision quest. Actually, it's a great eCourse adventure. Now imagine yourself having just completed your adventure, and you're standing on the top of that mountain feeling accomplished, confident, and strong as you breathe in the cool, fresh air of success. And you feel so proud of what you created. Your students are in love with your course and your community, and you've learned to harness the power of the sales force to sell your course with clarity and confidence. And what's amazing is you didn't do it alone. You did it with a community of people you appreciate and respect. And you all went through this epic journey together, and now your students are going through your journey together. And standing on the edge of that mountain peak, you feel something you've been searching for a very long time. You finally feel free. And I'm not talking about the freedom from avoiding work. I mean, the freedom is when you find work that you love doing so much, you don't need a vacation from it. Creating whole brain learning experiences is your opportunity to merge your passions with your creativity and life experience. And how much more freedom, fun, and fulfillment would you feel in your life if this was your work? So how do you get to the peak of that mountain? Well, you need experienced guides who you like, know, and trust. Guides who have your best interests at heart. And we've dedicated our lives to transforming the way we teach and learn in the online world. We've taken everything we've learned and know and put it into a clear path called the Great eCourse Adventure. On this journey, we will take you by the hand and guide you all the way to the top of the mountain, where you'll successfully launch an awesome e-course that you and your students love. And no great e-course adventure would be complete without a map. So let's take a minute to show you the adventure map so you can see what lies ahead in this epic journey in e-course creation. All great journeys begin with a map, and the Great eCourse Adventure is no exception to the rule. So put on your pack and let's take you on a tour up the mountains so you can see what's in store for you on this epic quest in eCourse creation. It all begins at base camp, where you'll meet your guides and fellow adventurers, acquaint yourself with the tools you'll use to build your course, and get into the right mindset for the epic journey ahead. From there, we head up to Reflection Pond, where you'll meet your Sherpa, set your intentions for the adventure, and get clear on your motivations so that when resistance, fear, or excuses kick in, your why will be bigger than your why nots. In Mapora Meadows, you'll get clear on which of the 4 types of e-courses you want to create, as well as take personal inventory on the tools and skills you have available from your lifetime of experience. Then through the gates to Architect Forest we go, where a friendly wizard will help you get clear on an amazing course idea and pinpoint exactly who you're making it for. Then we climb up to Creator Heights, where we take that idea and draft up your course outline with lessons and modules. We also have a special ceremony with a shaman who shows you the secrets to infusing your course with creativity and personality. From there, we come to a fork in the road. You can either go through Validation Swamp, where you test your idea in the real world by pre-selling it to your potential students, or you take the shortcut to Camp Medius, where the master of e-course platforms at the Temples of Technosis. He'll guide you to create the best platform for your course based on your budget, needs, and level of tech experience. He makes the tech side of course creation feel like you're walking on a cloud. Then we head down the Automatora River with a new friend we meet along the way, who just happens to be a pro at email automations. With his help, your course can go on autopilot so you have more free time to enjoy the sweeter things in life. Upwards at Salus Canyon, a seasoned online marketer will show you the tricks to understanding and communicating your value. There you'll find an authentic way to write potent sales copy and marketing material that deeply resonates with your future students. In the Fennell Caves, you will receive a message from the future that helps you set up your ultimate customer sales experience and high-value sales funnel. You'll then find the courage to scale the cliffs of Marketer Ridge, where you'll come up with your launch game plan and marketing strategy. And with your plan in place, we lead you through the storm to the snow-capped peak of Launch Summit, where you'll finally share your masterpiece with the world and start making sales. Pushing that launch button will call for a celebration. We end our adventure at Freedom Gardens, where you integrate and reflect on the entire journey, understand ways to nurture your growing community, and prepare for your next big adventure. As you can see, the Great eCourse Adventure is an extraordinary journey in the art of eCourse creation. With the help of your eCourse adventure guides and the many interesting characters you'll meet along the way, we're confident you will create the greatest eCourse you can possibly imagine, and beyond. As you can see, the adventure map lays out every single step you need to take to create your course. We cover everything. On top of that, we offer you weekly group coaching webinars where we'll help you with your course, bring you on camera, answer your questions, brainstorm, and help you break through the roadblocks along the way to the peak. We also offer our support in the online forum called the Community Campfire. We share our honest feedback, make suggestions, and we help steer you in the right direction. Plus, you have the company and camaraderie of your fellow adventurers and creators. This is an invaluable resource. Our crew will hold you accountable, cheer you on, and help you draw out the very best work you can possibly do. Posing one question to the community can offer you many valuable insights, perspectives, and solutions. Basically, the GEA community has got your back on this journey. So let's take a quick tour of our community so you can see what it's like to hang out around the digital campfire. Everybody needs a buddy sometime. At least that's our philosophy at the Great eCourse Adventure. This is why we created our own social media platform. We wanted to make it simple and fun for eCourse creators like you to connect, collaborate, and support one another to bring your eCourse visions to life. Taking what we love most about Facebook and forums, we give you the best of both worlds. Like Facebook, we've got a wall, but here we call it the bulletin board. Unlike Facebook, with all of its distractions, everything you're going to read on the bulletin board has to do with eCourse creation, creativity, online business, creative marketing, and being inspired. We also have our forum for deep dive conversations. We call this area of the mountain the Community Campfire. The campfire is the best place on the mountain to get support about your course, to brainstorm your ideas, and to get tons of feedback from your guides and fellow adventurers. And no social media experience will be complete without your personalized profile. When creating your profile, we ask you a series of questions to make it easy for your fellow adventurers to find out who you are and what you're up to in the world. This is helpful when going to the members directory because you can buddy up with people who are in your area or share the same interests as you. As you can see, the community is a huge part of supporting you to get to Launch Summit, where you'll be launching the greatest eCourse you can possibly imagine out into the world. We're looking forward to seeing you around the campfire. Welcome back. Can you feel the warmth of the campfire while engaging in conversations with these amazing e-learning pioneers? Now, we've covered a lot of ground today. We journeyed through space and time together. You've seen the map, taken the tour of the mountain and the campfire. Now, all there is one last thing to do. It's time to decide. Do you want to be a pioneer and help bring in the future of e-learning? Are you feeling the call to build your dream course that stands out, changes lives, and is a blast to create? Basically, if you are, then let's head through that vortex, let's charge up that mountain to Launch Summit, and let's make e-learning history together.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Ranger Boss Lady, what are you doing here?
Well, seems some of y'all haven't paid your park fees. Time to settle up.
Well, of course we gotta pay our park fees. Honestly, I was just about to get to that. But since you're here, do you think you could cut us a good deal?
Well, looks like you all got a lot of folks around here, so I bet you. Tell you what, give you a good group rate on this mountain pass. Details are in the sign below.
All right, thank you so much, Ranger Boss Lady. Well, it looks like this is the end of the road for those of you who just came for the free webinar adventure today. We really hope you had a ton of fun and that you learned a lot. We'd love to hear from you about your experience today and to see what you create in the future, so do stay in touch. And know, the mountain is always here for when you're ready. And be sure to stick around because we are doing a Q&A really soon.
Hey, Brad.
Yeah, what's up, Andy?
Don't forget to tell them about the bonuses.
Right. Thanks so much for the reminder.
Oh, and just so you know, the portal's closing soon, so get everyone in before it's too late.
Okay, thanks so much for letting us know. All right, everyone, because time is of the essence, you can click the link to go to our Trail Passes page to discover all the Action Taker bonuses and to grab yourself your Trail Pass for the Great eCourse Adventure. Move quick, though, because the bonuses fade away in 48 hours. We're so excited to see you on the other side at base camp, and we thank you so much for being on this epic e-learning adventure with us. Be sure to stick around because we'll be doing a Q&A in a moment. Thanks, Ranger Boss Lady. So good to see you again, and I'm sure we'll see you around the mountain. All right, let's do this! Woohoo!
All right. Well, welcome to the new world of online education. All body parts.
I think, yeah, everyone survived.
Last time some guy came in and he was part fly, part human because something happened in the vortex. I guess a fly was on his shoulder or something. But looks like everybody's good today, so that's good. We're going to dive into a Q&A. Now that we're in the new world, obviously you may have some questions that arise around how does what we're doing here on the eCourse Frontier Starship apply to what you're doing out there. So if any questions or concerns come up, we're happy to address those. One of the things that we hear a lot is around just the idea of gamification. We hear people say like, hey, my people aren't really into games. I'm not a gamer. I don't see how gamification can apply. And just to reiterate what Dr. Delight says is it's not about the points and badges. Like those are tools for applying gamification, but there's so many other things that you could do. And one experiment we did in our community quite a while back, it was over a year ago now, and we do it every month, is we create these monthly challenges. So we put out a challenge that's separate from the actual great eCourse adventure itself. And the challenges, it could be to, you know, one of the challenges we did was around writing every single day for an entire month, that you have to do 750 words of writing every day, and it has to do with your course or scripts or anything like that, and that was really successful. Another challenge that we did was to create a video where you are to be a character that's not you and teach a subject on anything. And the purpose of that was to make people feel uncomfortable and get comfortable with that feeling so that you can be a better presenter on camera. So creating regular monthly challenges with your group, and for us, like, we give away our community currency, the bajillion, and badges when we do those monthly challenges, and something like that has been so effective for creating engagement on a monthly basis and to help people that have kind of been lagging or falling off to get back into the game.
Yeah, you could even be adding points like the currency that, you know, have a little store, and if you're doing coaching or any sort of one-on-one work, they could build up the points from being active. Every time someone even just logs on into the community, they receive some points in that way, and that just adds up and creates more incentive to continue. The thing I love about the community so much is, again, we touched base on that a little bit, but instead of like Facebook, with all the distractions, the next thing you know, an hour goes by and you haven't really done anything productive, everything that's in our community is on point with creating an eCourse. So you have all these people that soon become your digital friends and eCourse family, so to speak.
Totally.
To inspire you. When someone says, "Hey, I just finished, you know, like I just finished my video. You know, how does it look? Can anyone give me some? Can you critique this?" And then people come in and help. And we found as facilitators in this that a lot of the work is being done just by the community.
Totally.
It's taken a lot of the weight off of our shoulders to hold that space and always be present. That the community's right there and active, helping each other, lifting up to the next level. It's incredible.
It really is amazing to watch as our community grows and the people growing within the community, how it becomes a family that starts to take care of each other. We're actually the community that we gave you a tour of just a few minutes ago. We're actually upgrading to a new platform on software called Mighty Networks. If you want to check that out, there's a link. No, it won't let me post the link. So just mightynetworks.com. They've got an amazing community software, and we've been helping them to develop the eCourse side of the software, and that allows us to do the currency and the badges and the community and the learning environment, all that sort of stuff. If you're a WordPress person, there's so much you can do in that realm as well. Kathy asked the question, I love the whole brain approach. What do you think is a reasonable estimate of the time it might take to launch an eCourse when I already have a clear course syllabus? Now,
that really depends.
Yeah.
Because we have students that come through and create little, what we call like more mini courses.
Yeah.
Then something like the great eCourse adventure that we created, that's 92 lessons.
It's 92 lessons for the journey. That's because we're, you know, it's like
going
each
through the
checkpoint.
whole gamut of how to create an eCourse.
Each checkpoint is a mini course in itself, because we're teaching you around creating your course syllabus, creating your theme, creating the gamification.
It's almost like 13 courses in one, so that took us a long time.
Yeah.
Some of our students...
We don't recommend going that route.
Right, not at first, right?
No.
Start small, get it into your store, start getting some momentum, some buzz, and grow with the community as they continue the request. You know, for example, that took us...
That was 9 months to produce from start to finish, and that was broken up. We pre-sold it. I mean, it was the craziest year of our life. My wife just got pregnant. We got a puppy dog, and we came up with this crazy idea to revolutionize online education, all in the same couple-week period.
And we weren't getting paid at the time either.
Yeah,
right?
we did that. Like, you know, we pre-sold it, and we made about $30,000 in pre-sales money, which gave us like a little bit of pocket change to be able to
just
feed our team,
get by,
the motivation. And it also, the pre-sale held us accountable. Like there was no going back. We took people's money and we had to create this beast that we dreamed up.
Yeah, month by month we would release another checkpoint, so we knew we had to get that because people were going through and expecting it.
Yeah.
So that was actually a really nice motivator.
Yeah, it was amazing. But what we encourage people in the course is to start with a mini course. That way you get the full experience of creating your themeified course in more of a microdose experience. And when you're producing really high level, high quality courses that people are falling in love with, you can charge a little bit more money if you want, because the production quality is going to be so much better.
What we like to say, it's binge-worthy learning.
Binge-worthy learning, exactly. And that's, we noticed today we had 100% retention rate, meaning every one of you is still here.
Yeah.
So that says something. Usually the webinar retention rate stuff is like, in the 10 to 30% range of people that'll show up and stay the whole thing. So that says something about what you all just experienced today. Now, how long does it take? We just produced our most recent course called Green Screen Magic.
And that took about 3 months
of working 2 days a week, and then down the final stretch we bumped it up to probably 4 days a week to get it done.
Yeah.
But greenscreenmagic.com, it won't let me post the link here in YouTube Live, but greenscreenmagic.com is the course. And for that one, it's basically 3 primary modules that you go through. We call them acts because you're in magician training. We teach you how to basically create e-learning illusions here and turn your courses into worlds. And that particular course, there's essentially 3 checkpoints. Each one's 8 lessons long, and it's mostly just the first videos in each of those checkpoints that are the themeified, entertaining world that we created.
They're the one that would have the story.
Those have the story, and they bring you into the world. And then the technical training stuff, they're really well done, but they're not themeified by any stretch of the matter. And so those didn't take as much time. The themeified world ones, those were the ones that take most of the time for us, because we have to create the scripts and dream up the world and have a ridiculous amount of fun doing it.
Totally. And that's what sets the tone. So therefore, when you're going through the course, so any of your courses, if you can do something similar, think of the theme that you might want to do that entertains your students and makes it fun for them. And then when you get to the lesson content, sometimes it just can't be any more entertaining.
Yeah.
So when we taught the actual production side, we went into my computer and I was teaching you as if you were just there in the studio with me, how I went scene by scene, layer by layer, how to create these amazing green screen magic tricks that you just experienced. That whole production, being up on the spaceship, that took us, again, probably another 5-6 months.
No, that was 3 months. It was 3 months, but we worked hard for that. We busted our asses. Blair aged about 6 months for that one.
Yeah.
But the thing is, each one of you have an industry that you're serving. And we believe, and we're starting to see the results as we're getting approached by more and more software companies and education institutions and that to support them with their content, that if you create the best online learning experiences for your field of work, you will very quickly put yourself in the position to be the go-to industry leader. And so the price you pay for putting in the extra month or 2 of work to produce something that blows people's minds is a great sacrifice. You put in that upfront effort, that extra creativity, and you're going to stand out in that sea of sameness, because truthfully, everything looks the same right now. All of the websites and sales pages all look the same. All of the courses are kind of run the same. And so what's going to help you stand out is to be more creative, put in a little bit of extra time, love, and energy into what you're creating, and just really stand out. Make that the goal, is to be that go-to expert in your field of work that creates something that people really take a look at.
It's the evolution of media. Not too far along ago, everyone was writing books, and when you wrote a book, you became super professional in your field. And I mean, that still occurs.
Yeah.
But it's changed. And so now with video being a huge medium that we've seen in the last decade, anyone who started getting in front of a camera and taking that plunge and posting their stuff, 10 years later, now they're at the top of their field.
Yeah.
Whether that, if you're a doctor like Dr. Axe or something like that, you know, getting into blogging, just regularly presenting yourself for people to find you. Now the wave is in e-courses, and not just any sort of e-course, because the retention rate is miserable. And so if you have an e-course and it's not entertaining and doing the things that we've just kind of presented to you, it's actually almost like a black mark that you're not taking the time to actually, you know, connect with your students in a way that is necessary to create the engagement and the success rates.
Yeah, we had a checklist that every single lesson we wrote and produced for the Great eCourse Adventure, all 92 of them, we would go through the list and we would ask ourselves, is this clear? Meaning the content, is it clear? Is this fun to watch? Like, would we enjoy it if we were in the viewer's seat? Is this the truth? Do we actually believe what we're teaching people out there? Like, would we apply these principles? And is it easy to follow? Like, did we give them just what they need, or did we fill it with a whole bunch of fluff?
Yeah, because it can easily get confusing and overwhelming. And so keeping your checkpoints, so to speak, small enough and digestible is so important.
Yeah.
Brad and I here, when that was being presented, we were up in space, we were watching just along with you, and we're still entertained by what we created.
We're
so
like, wow,
we know,
this is so cool.
Yeah. It's like, how the heck did we create that? That's amazing.
Yeah.
Still to this day. And that's what's special about when you create something that you love and you're putting your heart, your soul, and your creativity into, you know, full-fledged. It's going to stand the test of time.
And there's no selling. Like, we don't sell anymore. When we used to have, like, before the Great eCourse Adventure, we had our course was called the eCourse Creation Blueprint. Before every launch, we would be sweating bullets because we would have to sell this course and convince people that this was the right thing for them and why they should pull out their wallet and pay $1,500. And, like, that is not it at all. Like, we're just absolutely delighted that we get to share this opportunity. And some people think we're nuts, and other people are like, this is what I've been waiting for. And if you're one of those, this is what I've been waiting for people, then you're the exciting kind of people we like to work with, because you're going to take this in and just like run with it.
And I'm sure all of you listening right now probably feel the same way, that selling is probably a part of what is like the worst part of the day, of trying to actually, okay, I've got this amazing product. I believe in myself and what I'm doing. Man, I just hate that marketing stuff and trying to sell and get that. It just feels sleazy and kind of uncomfortable. And, you know, and we felt the same way. It was just not fun. But now that we have something that's actually, you know, useful, entertaining, and we love it just as much as you're loving it, it's a full brainer, as we like to say now.
And then, I mean, you apply Tad's principles of point of view marketing, and you really discover your niche, and like, the marriage of all these things comes together, and it's pretty beautiful what can happen and how easeful the business can become. And then it's just about alignment. The people that you're presenting it to, they're either going to be in alignment or out of alignment. But the name of the game right now, like with this new kind of media experience, if you look at how humans are consuming media, how you're consuming media at home, you watch entertaining videos, you're a part of social networks, you listen to music and podcasts, and you might play games. And when we looked at all those things and we looked at what we were doing with our old eCourse Blueprint, which was successful, it was paying all of our bills and we were doing all right with it, we were applying none of that. It was me in front of my camera with a nice PowerPoint that I did, and it was, you know, just pretty long-winded. It was just kind of how it was. And how we got to where we are now with the type of media we're doing is we asked ourselves the question, if we found this course, meaning our old one, 3 years ago when we were looking for this information and we needed it, would we have pulled out our wallets and bought it? And would we have actually gone through it? And we got a no and a no.
No.
And this was a really critical moment for us in our business career, because we were literally supposed to be starting to record the upgraded version of that course the very next day with this guy over here. And we're like, we have to rewrite everything. And we went home that night and we stayed up until about 5 a.m. This was Andy, who you met flying the eCourse Frontier Starship, and we stayed up all night, like dreaming into what kind of eCourse would we pay for, and what kind of eCourse would we actually want to go through. And this was before we studied gamification. This was before we, studied themification. All these things were like, we didn't know anything about that. We just started to dream into what kind of experience would captivate us.
And I think that's a key point, is what you experienced is what Brad, Andy, and myself have created. This is our energy essentially being exported into an eCourse, and then now that's what you see. So like, for example, Kathy, when whatever your syllabus is and what you're going to teach, think about it's your energy, how you're going to be entertained. What kind of course do you want to see? And if you were to take this course with the syllabus that you have, what's going to keep you engaged? Because then that's going to attract the people that are meant to be working with you.
And then there's no headaches. If you're attracting the people that are like you, that want to go through your stuff and like praise you because you created something just for them, because you created it just for you. It's like
life
there's
gets
no
a
headaches.
lot better.
We've had one refund in the last 2 years. One. Do you know what the refund rate is for courses this day and age? It's like 30 to 50% of the people that sign up for a course will ask for a refund. It's insanity.
It's special.
Yes.
What we're experiencing, and that's what we want to pass on to you, is that, so don't get caught up in seeing like, oh, how do we create something that Brad and Blair have created?
Don't create what we create.
No, we just want to inspire you to start going deeper inside and going, what do you want to see? What do you want to experience? And then that's what our Great eCourse Adventure is for, to help extract that. So, you start using your imagination and seeing what's possible. That's what our Green Screen Magic course was, because people would go through this webinar and the Great eCourse Adventure and go like, holy shit, how do we create anything like that? And so then that was our biggest request.
Let's just show we've got a trailer here that we can cue for you. That's a little entertainment bit. So let's just show that for a moment.
Perfect. So this will just kind of show you the green screen magic that we're talking about. Here we go.
Hey, it's Brad and Blair from eCourse Adventures. And since launching the Great eCourse Adventure back in 2016, one of the biggest requests from our community has been to create a green screen course to show our students how we brought the magic of the mountain to life.
That's right. Along the way, our students got to meet a bunch of wild characters who helped us teach the lesson material. And we had some pretty awesome experiences too, like whitewater rafting, scaling cliff faces Batman style, getting lost in underground caves, and teaching our lessons in some stunning locations like Reflection Pond, Creator Heights, Salish Canyon, and eventually up to Launch Summit.
We even went to outer space.
And all of this from the comforts of our own home.
So, we finally broke down and let the rabbit out of the hat by creating this green screen magic course, which is going to teach you to make more interesting, exciting, and effective eCourse lessons and media experiences that keep your audience captivated and engaged.
So in this course, you will be learning the tricks of the trade and essentially becoming a bona fide green screen magician yourself. You'll be learning so much more than just proper sound and lighting. In this course, we're going to show you how to composite multiple layers in your scene's backgrounds to create custom environments, interact with other characters and objects which aren't actually there, work a teleprompter, properly plan out your scenes, and use audio-video editing techniques that magically make the world you're creating more believable.
We also guide you in the editing room step by step and layer by layer, and showed you exactly what you need to do in the order you need to do it to create your very own masterpiece. So when you complete your magician's apprenticeship, you're gonna be a far better storyteller, producer, and video editor than you are now, making all of your future eCourse lessons 100 times better. This green screen magic course is going to help you tap into a level of creativity within yourself that you may have never known even existed. And as a result, build eCourses that are out of this world. So with that, we look forward to seeing you on the big stage.
Happy creating.
So that is a little sneak peek at Green Screen Magic and all the things that you're going to learn in that particular course.
I had so much fun going through and using all those little green screen things you can find for free on YouTube and stock footage, like the monkeys and the tiger and just all that sort of stuff, and just to make it entertaining, because that was a big part. And yeah, and that's what this sort of course allows your imagination to come alive.
Yeah.
And again, not all of your courses will need that.
You won't need, not everybody will need a green screen. Maybe you design a set. Maybe you shoot it out in nature. And that's the thing. Like, your theme doesn't have to be as crazy as going to outer space. But for us, the metaphor that we were teaching here is we're taking you to the new world of online education. Well, how do we get to the new world? You got to get there by spaceship. So it just made sense. And for the great eCourse adventure, any of you who are entrepreneurs out there, know building your dream business that aligns with your passions and your heart is like climbing a huge Everest-like mountain. It is no easy walk on the beach. Although that was the joke after launching the great eCourse adventure. Like, man, we should have done the metaphor of like a nice walk on the beach or something.
Yeah, I know, right?
We kind of kicked ourselves in the butts. But that's the thing, is like, it's hard. And that's why we did the metaphor of climbing the mountain for the great eCourse adventure, is because that's the truth. And so for you, you know, finding your own simple metaphor that can go with your course. For the green screen magic one, like, we're teaching you to be a magician, and so obviously the two main characters in that course that are going to do all the teaching are two magicians, the great Blair Deeney and Brad the Magician Morris.
Yeah.
So,
and you know, it was fun. It was, like we say in the one trailer on the website, it's a really good excuse to go down to your local costume shop and get into the role. You know, we had a lot of fun, as you saw in this past hour. The costumes that we kind of created to keep in theme, you know, simple little things like, you know, just the shirt that Brad's wearing, and we just printed out a nice little badge to kind of add that little extra element that, you know, something you see from Star Trek or something like that. You know, I went through some of my closets and pieced things together, and we went on eBay and got like the robe for Master Sales Walker, those types of things. And it goes a long way. Yeah, all these little tiny details. And, you know, we didn't know any of this when we got started. We just sort of figured it out as we went, and we, you know, 92 video lessons. Every single video lesson is a different place on the mountain, which means it's a different backdrop. We've got different characters that come in and teach. We're in a different place. We have to bring you into that world. We weave a love story into it. The costumes would change as we went up the mountain, from, you know, certain areas where it's just their adventure guide shirts that they're wearing, all the way up to starting to wear winter clothes and full goggles and toques and just, you know, kind of presenting that. And what we've learned is that the magic lies within the details, and how all the details add up into what creates a very realistic experience. So my philosophy as a producer creating these things is, when I'm watching it and something sticks out to me and I have that instant little thought of like, ooh, I should probably fix that, I go and take that time and fix it, because it adds up. And I mean, even now watching the webinar, there was a few little glitches now that my eye has learned to see. I'm like, oh, it got through, you know. Blair's gonna get itchy later. Like, I can't sleep. You know, and it just takes that discernment between knowing when it's time to just let it go, and taking the time to really make sure it's done right. And one of our biggest philosophies that we believe wholeheartedly, and we're seeing it time and time again, is that if you have fun creating what you're making, the people who go through it are also going to have fun. And we're so like programmed to think we have to be serious in our business, and that business needs to be this stressful thing, and we have our to-do list, and if we don't get it done, we're failing and falling behind and all these things. And I mean, for us, the game changer is like every day we get to be creative. We get to make worlds. We get to dream and write and produce. And like, this is the nature of our business now. And we get to, in the process, we're helping people transform their lives and build businesses that they love. And for all of you out there, like, where's the priority? Where's your creativity? Are you getting to play enough? And if the answer is no, then just, you know, we all have the same 24 hours. Just infuse that playful
energy that is inside of you into what it is that you're creating, and just like let it be a joy.
Totally. And we know from watching any sort of pop culture, like sort of movies and stuff like that, is the best movies are the ones when the actors have some sort of chemistry and they're actually having fun and really getting into it, and that just creates this level it's invisible but it's so tangible at the same time. And that's going to come across in your course that you're thinking of creating at this point. And so like here and now, just take some time to think of what your theme could be. You know, maybe write down 3 to 5 different options of themes.
Yeah, and in the workbook, there are a bunch of journaling questions for you. Like, so many good journaling questions for you. Like, come up with a course idea or 2 course ideas, and then throw down some theme ideas, and then go through all of the exercises based on those theme ideas. And you'll be surprised how quickly you come up with a world that you could create.
And a world that's fun. And when it's fun and exciting you, then all this energy starts to come through you. Yeah. And it doesn't feel like work anymore. You get excited. You want to spend all your extra time researching and finding the right backgrounds, the right elements, starting to script write, which is a huge part of...
Scripting is such a huge thing. On our blog at the Great eCourse Adventure, there's actually a great scripting webinar that I taught a couple months ago that just takes you through the creative process I go through every time we script a video or script a course. It's such a huge element because once you have your script, you build the world around that script. There's no like unexpected parts that it's like, okay, the camera's going to cut to here. And if any of you watch movies, then you'll pick this up really fast. You're going to start, as you start to like watch what we do, you'll start to like, oh yeah, like this is how things are produced. And this is how I could do the exact same thing. Like you're no different than us. When we first started the Great eCourse Adventure, we did not know how to use a green screen. It was like, we just got it out of the box and started playing with it.
Totally, exactly, and just step by step, and next thing you know, a few years goes by, and you're much further than when you started. That's natural. So really, just at this point, start dreaming up your course, what you can do, as you've learned that the tools are there. They're so readily available. You can, for a couple $100, you can get going.
Yeah,
and
easily,
right?
You can set up a studio in your spare bedroom, or or in your garage. Our last studio was in a garage. Right now, while our big studio is being built, we're just in a spare bedroom
right
on
now,
our spaceship.
Right.
And if you want support with your course, like if you have the curriculum, obviously, like the way we look at it is there's 3 main pillars. There's the curriculum. You have to have a good curriculum that actually teaches people something. Once you have that, like that's step 1. Don't even worry about your theme until you've got that curriculum outlined and solidified.
Because the theme will come through the curriculum.
The theme goes over top of the curriculum. That's what makes your lessons interesting instead of you just talking to a camera.
It's like the flavors you add to a nice stew. You have to have good ingredients that actually will nourish everybody. But then you start adding your flavors. Is this a curry? Is this going to be more like some rosemary and thyme? Right? That's what's going to keep people wanting to come back for another dish.
Totally. Chef Blair over here.
I'm getting hungry.
Yeah, must be. So then you have the experience, and that is your theme. That is the gamification. That's the things that keep people wanting to return to the well, to take their next step on the journey up whatever mountain it is that you're creating for them. And the experience is what the whole e-learning industry is missing. Everybody's focused on curriculum. If I just give these people the information, then they will get X result.
Boring.
And that doesn't work. How many of you have signed up for uncountable numbers of courses and not stuck around? And look at us. 100% of you are still here right now watching this webinar.
Awesome. This is incredible.
So I just want to say, like, the experience is really what it's about, is how do you keep people engaged and how do you get them to interact with it so they're not just a passive consumer of the information and the video content like you would if you're watching Netflix, but you actually turn them into an active participant in the learning journey and the transformation. And that's where it's like, okay, go do this exercise, take a selfie of yourself, come back to the community and share the selfie and the story of you doing the thing. Or like, go out into the world and produce this video, come back to the community and post your video so we can critique it and we can offer you some feedback on it. And this is like going away from the traditional model of like, you pay $2,000 for my overly inflated course, and if you want me to support you, then you pay $5,000 per year for my mastermind. And that way of doing e-learning is old school, and it's gonna soon die. And what we're really trying to do is create a culture and a community around our services and our offerings. Because when you do that, the people's lives who are directly transformed through what it is that you offer become leaders in your community because they just naturally want to pay that forward. And suddenly, like, you don't have to be as active in the transformation of all those people because the leaders within your community will naturally step forward and help. And we're seeing it all the time.
It's amazing. It just keeps growing and growing, you know, and so that's why I'm so grateful that you're here right now getting this major download, and I'm really excited just to see what you can create, you know. So stay in touch. That's what we keep inviting. Come into the community, because the inspiration and the support is probably one of the most important pieces, and that's part of the pillar.
Totally.
Yeah.
And the great eCourseadventure.com is where you can go sign up for the main flagship course. We do a free 14-day trial that gets you in the course, the community, and it gets you into our regular coaching sessions. We also do a weekly eCourse Adventures live show, which the link is in here. You can see that. Oh, no, it won't let me. If you just go to YouTube and you search for our eCourse Adventures channel, we actually just had Tad on the show yesterday.
Yeah, so
and
like
we talked about
eCourse Adventures Live. It's just kind of something we've been doing, having fun, bringing interesting people onto our show. We do that generally on Tuesdays. Yeah. Here Pacific, around noon
or 2. It's
new for us still. So.
And there's a lot of things changing as we build our new platform. So just check it out. Get on the loop. For our bonuses today, if you sign up for Green Screen Magic, then we'll offer you a free hour-long coaching session with the two of us. So we can help you come up with theme ideas. We could give you some editing support in the editing room if you want. Whatever you want coaching support around. So that's at greenscreenmagic.com. And regardless, go out and share this creativity. Like, come up with one video today. Like, whatever you're inspired to do, make a video and go the extra mile and give it a theme, or make it more interesting than how you would normally do it. Totally. And just start to go above and beyond the Call of Duty. Because if you start to, like, do more than what people would expect of you and make it better than what you think it could be, then that's only going to help leverage you, and then just keep going with that.
The more you give, the more you will receive. That's just a divine law of abundance. And so, yeah, just get a camera. It could be just your phone. These things are incredible cameras, you know. Just do a selfie video of like a lesson, post it onto Facebook. Start breaking through any of these blocks that are keeping you from connecting with the people out there. And that's going to take time. When we did the Green Screen Magic course, I'm used to being on the other side of the camera. And so that really pulled me in front and had to go through those awkward moments of just like, oh my God, the lights, the camera, this is really weird. But I'm so grateful that we took that time to go through it, because it's becoming more and more comfortable for me, which is just going to increase my ability to communicate what I have my natural gifts and skills in, which is valuable to everybody that, you know, I need to connect with, just like you are valuable to everybody that wants and are seeking you right now. So yeah, so download this workbook if you haven't already. Start going through it. It's an amazing experience. We had a lot of fun creating a more engaging workbook. We're actually creating a new course called Workbook Hero, which is going to help you learn how to create an engaging, interactive workbook for your people, so you can write your notes and you answer your questions and do all the check boxes right in your PDF workbook. And we're going to be doing a kind of like a 1960s Superman theme, you know, where you're the new editor in the office, and and the chief is giving you a hard time, so you go over to Ken Clark, I think we've said. Yeah.
Kent
Clark. And you trademark stuff, right? You got to be careful. But anyway, so we're just starting to build that now. We're having fun.
Yeah.
And that's the name of the game.
Yeah.
Especially here at eCourse Adventures. Yeah. So
thank you, everybody, for being here. Thank you, Tad, for having us. Shoot us an email if you enjoyed this. Let us know what you liked. Let us know what you didn't like. And we look forward to seeing you around the campfire at the Great eCourse Adventure. Take care, everybody, and make something awesome.